Several years ago, standing in my kitchen, my world was flipped. I was arguing with my son. He's about 14 at the time. And we were both yelling, voices raised, emotions high. And then I did something that made me shiver. I stepped closer to him. We were now eye to eye. I hadn't realized he had grown tall enough to be my height. I felt my body tense, my fists clench. I stepped closer to him, but not as his mother, as if I was preparing to fight, as if I was defending myself from a stranger. And then I saw it, the look of fear and anger in his eyes. This is my son. I realized I was becoming the very person I hated, the person I had tried to protect my boys from for years. I was becoming. The cycle I thought I had broken, I was recreating right there in my kitchen. How could I expect my kids to be any different if I wasn't willing to change myself? I was literally showing them how to act. Now the question for you to ponder on is, were you just judging me? It's okay. I did the same thing to myself for years. In that moment, the judgments poured in. You're a terrible mother. Why can't you control yourself? You are no better than him. But those judgments weren't formed in that kitchen. They had already been there for years. My judgments came from becoming a single mother at the age of 16 and living inside of a decade-long abusive relationship. When I finally left, I thought the hard part was over. What I wasn't prepared for was a new kind of hell, one I had created for myself. I felt stupid for not seeing the signs. I judged myself as a bad mother. What kind of mother allows her children to grow up in this environment? The guilt was suffocating. And the worst part, everyone kept telling me I was so brave, so strong, a survivor. Yet, I felt none of those things. So I pretended. I pretended to have it all together while silently falling apart. I compared myself to everyone, every happy couple, every wonderful family. They became the evidence of my failure. And here's something else I didn't know. When we judge ourselves constantly, it doesn't stay contained. It leaks out. It poisons everything around us. I started judging everyone else as well. That judgment, it was constant, relentless. It wasn't just the abuse or the shame or the fear that was keeping me stuck, but it was the judgment that I had stacked on top of it all. After that moment, I knew things had to change. So I dove in. Books, podcasts, courses, anything I could find on trauma, healing, and breaking cycles. I remember hearing someone on a podcast once say, "Be careful how you judge others, because what you judge outward, you also judge within." Oh boy, did that hit me. Because isn't that what we all do? We judge ourselves and others constantly. We allow our brains to create the story. Here's what I mean. Our brains hate gaps. So when it doesn't have all the information, it will fill in the blanks. It needs that complete picture. So it makes one up. And when it does that, that made-up story is filled with our fears and our judgments. But here's the good thing. You have the ability to correct it. You can shift those thoughts. Anytime that you have a judgy moment, you can choose to say something kind right after. I'm a mess. No, I am doing the best I can. Oh, I'm a failure. No, I am learning and growing. It will feel forced at first, but slowly something begins to shift. And that's when I saw it. This pattern, this process, my framework. Courage, curiosity, connection. These three words became my compass to overcoming my judgments, not just within myself, but also within the outside world. Let's start with courage. Courage is a word that I use very intentionally because I believe that it holds so much more weight than strength. Strength is the capacity to exert or withstand force. I'll be honest though, there were so many times in my life I had zero strength, where I just wanted to give up, let go, let the darkness creep in. But courage is a choice. It is the willingness to face the adversity, fear, or uncertainty. You get to choose courage. For me, courage looked like choosing to be very honest with myself and with my boys. I had to have the courage to admit my faults, to let them know where I felt like I had failed them, to stop pretending to be perfect because, let's be honest, that was hurting them way more than it was helping. And the bond that created, one of a kind. That courage with my boys gave me the courage to push further. I found myself sitting with the director of our local domestic violence center. I wanted to share with her this dream I had, this goal of creating impact and connection. As I'm sharing my story, I pause mid-sentence and I say, well, I know that others have had it so much worse, but she stopped me. Please don't compare your story to others, she said. Your story is yours. And that stuck with me. Because courage isn't just about doing the hard thing. It's about choosing to show up even when you are afraid. It's about choosing to face the difficult, that fear that's right there in front of you. Now, once you choose courage, the next step is curiosity. Now, curiosity is the desire to want to know or understand something. It can take you out of a space of judgment and into a space of truly listening. For me, curiosity started with choosing to listen to others differently. Usually, when I was talking to someone, I thought that I was listening. But really, I was just assuming and filling in the blanks. So I chose to get curious, to ask the questions instead of assuming I knew the answers. Can you explain this to me a little bit more? Or I think that you said this. Is that correct? I started actually listening, not planning my response, but choosing to ask the questions instead of allowing my brain to create the story. Ask questions instead of making assumptions. Because when you lead with curiosity, you lean out of judgment and into connection. Now, once you have courage and curiosity working together, this is where connection is made. Connection is the link between people, things, or ideas. It is a shared bond, a true means of communication. It comes from a neutral space, seeing nothing as inherently good or bad. Just hearing and understanding and giving space for the lived story. Now, I got to witness this in action when I started speaking with law enforcement about domestic violence. You see, I wanted them to see the inside view, the before and after someone leaves, why they stay and why they go back. And the response was immediate. Yes, please share your story. So I did just that. I shared the hard parts, the ugly truths. I even shared what I was ashamed of. And then something incredible happened. They leaned in without judgment. They wanted to understand, not just respond. They were using courage and curiosity, and I got to witness the connection it made, not just with me, but with how they thought about their next call. And that's when I realized law enforcement, like so many of us, only get a fraction of the story. How can we expect them to better help those in need if they don't have all of the information? That's what connection does. It bridges the gap. It opens the doorways to different perspectives. It's not about agreeing with everything, it's about choosing to truly see each other. This is the framework that I have used to help me overcome the judgments that kept me stuck for years. Now, I get to share it everywhere. I speak with law enforcement agencies, universities, corporations, anyone willing to listen with an open ear. Because I believe that this is how you create change, not just within yourself, but within your communities, within our world. So how do we begin to do different? How do we begin to see differently, act differently, feel differently? I believe that it begins with choice and 3 simple words: courage, curiosity, connection. Now, I would like to leave you with 2 challenges today. Number 1, use the 3 C's this week in a conversation. Just one. Use courage to truly listen. Get curious instead of making assumptions, and watch what kind of connection gets created. 2, start noticing your own judgments, not just toward others, but also toward yourself. In that moment, become aware of it. Choose to correct it. Say something kind right after. It will feel forced at first, but I promise it works. When you choose to face the difficult, to step into the unknown, you are choosing to lean in to the courage that lies within us all. You have that courage. You have always had it. Now, choose to use it.